loves, welcome back to another episode of Wine Down Wednesday. In today's video, we will be talking about red wine, and I'm going to share with you one of my favorite wines that I've been enjoying for quite some time now. I would say back in 2016 was the first time that I tried what you see here, this jam jar. It is a red wine. It is sweet Shiraz, and this is the vintage year of 2020. But when I first started drinking, it was 2016. And so I've opened up this wine. It's 2020, and it is just as good as the 2016 and the 2018 that I've tried in the past. Jam Jar also has 3 other types of wines that are really good. They have a sweet red blend, also a white blend, and then they also have a blush. It is a rosé wine. The alcohol percentage on this particular bottle is 12.5%, and even though it's 12.5%, it still says sweet. But I do want you to know that, just for a rule of thumb, if it's greater than 10, then that's letting you know that you're getting out of the residual sugar and into the drier wines. So unless it specifies on the bottle, that it's sweet, 9 times out of 10 it is going to be dry, especially when you get to your red wines. There are not a lot of sweet red wines unless they just make it sweet or they're mixing it with other types of wines. So, and I'm going to get into that on another video, how to read and understand a wine label, because that is key when you're going to the grocery store or you're going to a wine shop. Before you make your purchase, you want to know if it's sweet, if it's dry, what are the notes, if you're going to like it. So that's just one rule of thumb. Unless it specifies that it is sweet, if it's over 10, you're getting to the drier wines. So if you want something sweet, stay under 10. That's just a rule of thumb that I use when I'm looking for a particular wine. Jam jar wines are vegan friendly. So if you're a vegan or trying to go vegan or just find some healthier option, that is one thing that I love about jam jars. So definitely give them a try. Let me know in the comments if you do decide to buy it. They do run about $12 to $15 for retail price, just depending on where you get them. I normally purchase my jam jar from Ross's grocery store. Matter of fact, I get all of my wine from Ross's grocery store or World Market. Those are 2 great places that I just know I'm gonna find something that I like when I go into those stores. A lot of times when you go to the grocery store, even for white wine, you're gonna notice that the majority of the options that you have are gonna come from, you're gonna notice that you have more options when it comes to red wines than white wines. So I kind of bounced between the 2 stores just to give me a little variety. And one thing I did notice about World Market, they only stock their shelves with vendors that they know are gonna sell. And so that lets me know that it's a popular wine and that it's like a lot of buzz around that particular wine. Even if I don't happen to like it, that means it, you know what I'm saying, it's still popular. So that's why I go to World Market. But Ross's, they have a wider selection, and then the prices are pretty good, I would say. So definitely try out a Ross's if you have one near you. So I'm not going to do a long intro because the red wine chart is going to be a little bit more extensive than the white wine. There's more options when it comes to sweet and dry, semi-sweet. So I really want to get into the different types, like 2 per category, so that you can make a decision on which so that you can make a decision on which one you want to try. So we're gonna get into it. It's gonna be a little bit different just because I want to put out as much information when it comes to the red wine so that you can make the right decision on what path you want to go when it comes to your wine journey. So let's just segue into this red wine chart. So this is the red wine guide. As you can see, it's different from the white wine chart that I created, just because we have a lot more to consider when choosing a red wine. So we're going to start with the first column. It is sweet. Those would be Tony Port, Ruby Port, and Lambrusco. These wines have up to 20% of residual sugar, so they're going to be very, very sweet. It's going to be sweeter than your Moscato because of the amount of sugar that they put into this category. Then moving on to semi-sweet, that will be a Zinfandel, Shiraz, Moscato, and Pinot Noir. This category has 3 to 5% of residual sugar. And so starting off with the Zinfandel, it is a medium-bodied wine, and it is kind of like a rosé but sweeter. A rosé is going to be about the same in texture and complexion when looking at it in the bottle, but the Zinfandel is just going to be a little bit lighter and sweeter. Next we have Shiraz. I have out to the side Australia because Shiraz and Syrah are very common. People get them confused and mixed up all the time. They are two different types of wines. So Shiraz uses the Syrah grapes, but they are grown in Australia. I know it's crazy, but that is how it is made. Next we have red Moscato. This red Moscato is going to be drier than the white Moscato, but it's really good. I have tried quite a few brands and they all seem to be about the same in the sweetness when it comes to red Moscato. I do enjoy red Moscato. Next up we have Pinot Noir. It is a light bodied wine, and I have it in the semi-sweet category, but if you look at other wine guides, it's not going to be considered semi-sweet. But my reason for putting it here under semi-sweet is because of the light body that it has. It's easier to drink, but matter of fact, from sweet to semi-sweet, these wines here you can drink by themselves, chill or not. They're just easy on the palate and just easy to consume, easy to drink by themselves. So that is why I put it in that category. And then the Pinot Noir normally has about 12 to 14% alcohol. It's not gonna usually go above 14%, and so by it not having that high alcohol content, it's not that you don't have that bitterness at the end. Now for the next category, dry to very dry, the dry will be less than 2%, and that will be the Malbec and Merlot. And so Malbec is actually considered a semi-sweet, but again, the reason why I put it over here is because it is a full body wine. It is going to be kind of heavy on the palate, and then it has more of an earthy note to it, making it taste bitter at the end. And so I would not recommend drinking it by itself. This category for dry to very dry, these wines are better served with dinner or some type of meal that you're having, not by themselves. Now when you get to different types and brands, it's gonna vary on which ones you like, especially with this category. And as I always say, when it comes to wine, start at the bottom and then move your way up when it comes to purchasing wines. You don't have to spend $30 on a bottle of wine just starting off, because it may not taste that great. So if you start off with something bottom shelf, more than likely you should like it. If not, try a different brand. And then we have Merlot. Again, it is going to be dry and it's best served chilled. And then you have Cabernet Sauvignon, and then you have Syrah. And so Syrah and Cabernet are considered very dry. They may even have less than 1% of residual sugar. And then again, that Syrah, that wine uses the Shiraz grapes that are grown in France. So just keep that in mind when you are purchasing your Shiraz and Syrah. And just depending on where you get it from is kind of going to decide what it tastes like in the semi-sweet or the dryness. So maybe a California bottled wine may not be as dry as maybe a bottle from France. So you want to keep that in mind as well when you're looking at the different types of red wines. The origin of where it comes from also affects how it's going to taste, and the process and the bottling and how it's imported as well. So what I would do is just pick one from a category that you just want to try, and then stick with that for a while. Try different brands and then move about from category to category and see how that goes. If you would like, you can definitely DM me before you make a purchase and ask me what do I think about the wine, and I will do my very, very best to give you some type of guidance along the way. So which wine from this guide are you thinking about trying? And definitely tag me on Instagram if you make a purchase, especially if you get the jam jar. Let me know if you like it or not. And I hope this guide was helpful. Okay, my loves, that was a lot. As you can see, my glass is empty, so that means it is time to go. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Definitely leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think, where you are on your wine journey, so that I can help you along the way as well. I'm here for support. Also, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you like the video and share, and I'll see you in my next upload. Take me in your arms, do just what you want. You're the one to try.